Now, let me say this out the gate, right off the jump. I enjoyed this week's Raw. It was a relatively easy watch for 3+ hours. With that being said, though, I know a lot of people think that we're undergoing some big dramatic change in the WWE, and you expect a lot of different things to come out of the WWE, and you're anticipating things will only get better throughout the rest of 2014. When I sat there and I watched this week's Raw, I kind of had that overwhelming sense of dread come over me because, as much as you might think that a lot of things are different and that a lot of things are changing and are about to continue to change, a lot of the stuff I saw on this week's Raw just ultimately felt like more of the same old bullshit that has frustrated myself and so many others in recent years when it comes to the WWE and their product. And the perfect example of this, frankly, is the opening segment of Raw this week. And I know a lot of people like this, and a lot of people were down with this, and I think some people were not. And I'm kind of the crowd that I was split kind of 50-50. Look, it was good television in a way, in the sense of you've got your babyface world champion getting beaten down by a freaking monster. You've got the setup for the Extreme Rules match between Kane and Daniel Bryan, and all of that seems to be well and good in theory, especially because there is story and history here, both with them being foes and friends and foes again. However, as I'm watching this, I'm sitting there saying to myself, now wait a second. We're back on Kane being an indestructible, uncontrollable, raging monster now, where the past few months we just made him look like a joke of a corporate figure. We're just supposed to forget all of that crap, and all of a sudden now he puts on the mask, he turns on the switch, and all of a sudden, oh my God, it's crazy off the wall fucking Kane. He's Tombstone and Daniel Bryan every fucking where. You know, Kane and Big Show have been treated very similarly in the WWE over the past decade. They push them for a little bit, and then when they get bored with them, they drop them back down and make them a joke. Then they try to get serious with them again, then they make them a joke. Then they try to get serious with them, and they make them a joke. And every time what happens, when they try to make them serious, they make them less and less serious. And every time they make them a joke, they make them less and less serious and more of a joke. And you keep getting to that point where now you see a Kane, and he's sitting here, and he's going batshit crazy, and he's Tombstone and Daniel Bryan on the table and on the steps and in the ring and all over the fucking place. And it's just like, okay. And I'm supposed to take this seriously? I mean, seriously, it's like they sit there and they go too far in diminishing these big guys, these monsters like the Canes and the Big Shows of the world. Then they try to overcompensate and correct their previous mistakes by going too far over the edge and just making it seem completely ridiculous and stupid. And that's kind of what I saw here in this opening segment. Sorry. You know me, I call them as I see them. Now I'm supposed to sit there and take Kane seriously? And let's be realistic here. It is 2014. Kane is in his mid-40s. I have absolutely zero interest in seeing him in a world title feud, especially if this is going to be a world title feud that isn't even going to main event, let's say, in Extreme Rules. Now, it very possibly could, with the degree that they went on Raw here to build this up and with what they did here. But at the end of the day, I don't want Kane anywhere near the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I don't want Kane, frankly, really even on my television anymore. And now he's feuding with the Daniel Bryan. The only saving grace for this segment to me, frankly, was that they finally incorporated Brie Bella, Daniel Bryan's new bride, into something involving Daniel Bryan. Now, that could potentially add some intrigue and add some additional layers of story to this feud and rivalry between Kane and Daniel Bryan. And if that's the case, it's at least palpable. It's at least okay. But again, it feels like more of the same overcorrection bullshit that the WWE has had to do over the years. And like I said, every time they make a guy serious and then they make him a joke, then they make him serious, he's not as serious, and he just becomes a bigger joke, and then less serious, more joke, less serious, more joke, and now you get to the point of like, oh, come on. Now Kane's an unstoppable monster? Child, please. This week's Raw featured two semifinal matches in this Intercontinental Championship #1 Contenders Tournament. And I have to say, I literally almost shit myself when Wade Barrett beat Sheamus clean 100% on television to advance to the finals. I literally almost shit myself. I said, he beat Sheamus clean, and he beat Sheamus clean on television. Wow. Interesting, to say the least. And then you had RVD versus Cesaro, and then this is where they chose to have Swagger come out, interfere, and cost Cesaro the match. And hopefully you're spinning off to them in their own feud at Extreme Rules and maybe a little bit afterwards. So it's going to be Wade Barrett versus RVD in the finals, I assume, next week, with the winner getting a shot at Big E and the IC title at Extreme Rules. And I know this has a lot of people excited and a lot of people hoping and wishing and thinking that, oh my God, Wade Barrett could become the next Intercontinental Champion. And this means this whole tournament and what could happen out of this could mean more prestige for the IC title, and it can make things better for the midcard in the WWE. Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news, because no matter how much you want to believe it, and no matter how much you are buying into and believing that shit is changing with the midcard titles, make no mistake about it, the shit is going to remain exactly the same as it has for years. It is kind of ridiculous and flat out pathetic that idiots like me and other idiots like me understand how significant and how important and how meaningful the Intercontinental Championship should be and can be, more so than the people involved with booking the fucking WWE. How can we better understand the importance and significance and meaning of what the Intercontinental Championship can mean and what it can do for the company, both short-term and long-term, better than the WWE? The people that are getting paid to understand this crap. Look, if you're sitting there and believing, well, once they put the belt on Wade Barrett, man, that's going to bring so much prestige back to the Intercontinental Championship. Wade Barrett's been IC champion before. Been there, done that. How'd that work? So often is the case. So many fans want to buy into it and want to believe that the company is finally going to pull their heads out of their asses on this one. And they're finally going to sit there and make this belt mean something again. But they're not going to. Look at the champion right now, Big E. The only time you're seeing him on television is one little shot with the belt over his shoulder and him standing backstage watching the match on the monitor. That's it. No storylines for the IC champion. No feuds involving the IC champion. Even here, this is just a tournament to get fill television time to give Big E a match at Extreme Rules. Was the belt defended at WrestleMania? No, it fucking wasn't. So come on, people, wake up a little bit. I understand, believe me, I do, that you want this to signify something, and you want this to mean something, and you want to believe that more prestige is going to come to the Intercontinental Championship, and you want to believe that the WWE is going to change their ways when it comes to this. But what evidence do you freaking have to suggest otherwise? It's going to be Wade Barrett probably versus Big E at Extreme Rules with no real build-up to any feud. It might be one match, then it'll be another match, and then it'll be another match. Still no storyline, no real feud. It's fucking ridiculous. The more you think shit changes, the more it's just going to end up staying exactly the freaking same. When the hell did Hornswoggle join 3MB? More importantly, I'm trying to figure out why. And why are Los Matadores and the rest of 3MB being used as nothing more than plot devices to advance a storyline between El Torito and Hornswoggle? When in the hell did this happen? Unexplained shit. Just throw crap together. And then instead of giving like some meaning and significance of some real story to why these two midgets would be freaking beefing, all they're sitting there and doing is sitting there and having match, and then a match, and then a match, and then that's it. You can't use matches alone to tell a full story, WWE. More of the same old crap you've done with stuff that doesn't involve world titles or a big time player in recent years. And I'm all for El Torito and Hornswoggle having a feud. Two midgets feuding. It's something different for the WWE. I'm down with that. But even in this case, it just feels like the same old shit. We're just going to throw Hornswoggle with 3MB and have him and El Torito feud just for the fuck of it. Why? Because they're both short? One thing that I had absolutely no complaints about on this week's show was the confrontation, the showdown between Evolution and The Shield. Freaking Triple H, Dave Batista, Randy Orton. You know, it's an evolution to evolution, out fucking standing. These three jerks as fucking suit-wearing heels is outstanding. I can't get enough of this shit. If you threw Cena and Sheamus into this faction and you went balls to the walls with the Breakfast Club, now that, ladies and gentlemen, is fucking entertainment. But what a good spot for the Shield to be in here. They are being featured very prominently in a big-time feud with three big-time players, three former world champions, three main eventers, three future WWE Hall of Famers. It elevates the profile of these guys, and you can see they kind of went out of their way a little bit to kind of ramp up the interest in Ambrose a little bit this week. They went a little out of their way to kind of make up for it. Now, obviously, you wouldn't mention the fact that he's United States champion or actually have him defend that belt and give him any storylines or feuds involving that title that he's held hell for almost a fucking year. But I can't wait to see Evolution versus the Shield at Extreme Rules. This is going to be cool. I love when Shield went to confront him, and here comes the other 11 guys, and Batista's smug-ass look on his face. He's like, yeah, these jabber-jabroni bitches. They're not Breakfast Club worthy. Fucking incredible. And when I talk about more of the same old shit, let's look at the Usos versus the Rhodes Brothers. Instead of splitting up the Rhodes Brothers on the road to WrestleMania and having them actually be in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania 30, which definitely would have been a big-time asset to the freaking card, no question about it, now it looks like they're getting ready to split them up after WrestleMania. Why? What's the point now? It seems ridiculous. The timing for that, to me, my opinion, was to do it on the road to WrestleMania and give these two guys a big blow-off match at WrestleMania 30. Now, of course, the Usos win. You've got Ryback doing commentary after the match. Here comes Ryback in to wipe out the Usos. And again, it's just more of the same old shit with the tag team division. Randomly thrown together people in the case of Ryback. And all you're doing is you've got a match, and then you've got a match, and then you've got another fucking match. It's not a feud. There's no story here. There's no reason to get interested here. There's no real emotional investment here. It's more of the same old shit. Oh, now you've got these guys on commentary. What are you going to do next week? It's going to be Ryback versus one of the Usos and Axel against the other Uso? Come on, WWE. You have so many talented performers there and so many potential tag teams, and you could really make the tag team division an asset of your company at this time. And it seems like you're traveling right back down the road of what you've done for the past few years of you really don't pay that much attention to the tag teams. You just sit there and give them a match, a spotlight, a small one at that, on television every week. Even though you've got some new faces being featured in the Divas division, frankly, it just feels kind of like the same old shit. Even though you had 2 different Divas matches on this show. You've got Emma versus Layla. How many times are we going to have a match involving Santino and Fandango in some particular way, shape, or form without there actually being a real rivalry or a real storyline or a real feud here? It's just like you're throwing them out there every week, and here you go. And even like Emma Layla, why is this match happening? And why do we keep going to this well? Oh, Christ. And then you got Oksana versus Paige. I know a lot of you probably sat there and thought this was some great match, but I'm sorry. If the crowd wasn't into it, and you even got those random smattering of people chanting boring, boring during the Divas match, that's not a good thing. Not only did it, for the most part, elicit no reaction, when it did elicit a reaction, it elicited some boring chants. So no, that wasn't a good fucking match. If it didn't get the crowd there interested, how the hell was the match any damn good? Isn't that, in part, the audience that they're supposed to play to? Not just the television audience, but the live attendance audience there as well? And, you look at it. You've got Paige here. Maybe she was ready. Maybe she wasn't. I don't know. I don't care. But now she's supposed to defend her title at Extreme Rules against Tamina. Where the hell was Tamina? Where the hell's the storyline going with this? Where the hell is the storyline with this? Just another freaking random-ass Divas title match at Extreme Rules. Now, some of you will sit there and say, well, she was associated with AJ Lee. Where's the story between these two? Seriously. The more you think shit changes with the WWE, the more it stays exactly the fucking same. Talk about stuff feeling the same. When I look at Alexander Rusev, he just seems like, to me, a Kozlov guy, an Umaga guy, somebody that the company has a great interest in initially, and they got a big heart-on for, and they're going to push to the freaking moon, and they'll push them almost to a main event type of spot. But then eventually they'll realize they really don't have much for him. He's not really connecting with the audience, and as a result, they will lose interest, and eventually the guy gets featured and endeavored. Now, in the case of Rusev, here's my thing. If you're trying to make him this Bulgarian brute, and you're going to make him a freaking monster, then he shouldn't be working real matches with a Sin Cara. If anything, I advocate Rusev doing 5 things. You might call them 5 moves of doom. He gets in there, he hits 1, he hits 2, 3, 4, 5, end scene fucking over. None of his matches right now should go longer than a minute and a half or 2. That's how you will get the guy to stand out. That's how you will get the guy to connect with the audience one way or another. That, to me, is how you'll get the guy over in some way, shape, or form. You were doing similar shit with Ryback, and for a while that did work, and yes, it did. Look past the Goldberg chance. There, at least we'll use the Cena logic. At least he was getting a reaction. But once you got past that shit, he was getting over. The feed me more chance. That shit was working. Of course, WWE screwed the pooch, which is probably what they're going to do with Rusev. Now, if Rusev is just nothing more than a showcase piece for Alana, which is what I'm starting to think it might be, then so be it. I guess they really don't care. But why not try to make this guy a star? Why not try to make this guy different? And him sitting there working a full match where it actually looks like he's actually having to put in some effort against the Sin Cara? Why? But of course, the ultimate, the epitome when it comes to the WWE and truly wanting to believe that shit is going to change and it ultimately ends up being the exact same crap as always, the poster boy for that is John Felix Anthony Cena. And anything he's involved in, anything that gets sucked into his vortex of suck, anything that helps continue to feed and build that John Cena problem, that John Cena monster for the WWE. You look at the Cena feud with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. Jesus Christ. Everything heading into WrestleMania 30 pointed to Bray Wyatt should win this match. He has his helpers, Rowan and Harper, on the outside. He's been getting the upper hand pretty much the entire time. Hell, they even had his freaking entrance music performed live at WrestleMania 30. You introduce the chair. You have Cena pretending at different points in times like Bray Wyatt's actually getting in his head. You've got Rowan and Harper getting involved in the match, and John Cena fucking overcomes it all. So again, why should the fucking story continue? Where is the story? Why should the feud continue? There's no reason for it. The babyface is now the villain because the babyface has overcome all the obstacles, and the babyface is the fucking obstacle. And even here, you look at a couple of weeks ago, 6-man tag, Bray Wyatt pins Biggie Langston. That's a reason for his feud with John Cena to continue. And now you get to this shit here. You present this option on the WWE app where people can vote for who John Cena is going to face. Is it going to be Luke Harper? Is it going to be Harper and Rowan? Or is it going to be the entire Wyatt family? What the hell did you expect everybody was going to sit there and pick? All the 5 to 8-year-olds that love John Cena are long since in bed. They're not voting for this match. Of course the adults are going to sit there and say, you know what, I want to see this guy fucking take on all three of them in a 3-on-1 handicap tag match. Why the fuck wouldn't I? Because at WrestleMania 30, he beat Bray Wyatt 1-on-1 in a non-clean fashion. By non-clean, I mean he was getting interfered with by Rowan and Harper and still found a fucking way to win. This is the only way I might actually, as a fan, have a chance to get emotionally invested in John Cena and any story that he's in or any path or any journey that he embarks on. Because now he might actually have some real fucking obstacles. And then you've got the WWE propaganda machine sitting there saying, I can't believe the fans sat there and voted for John Cena to face all three of them. Why the fuck not? And to sit there and you're almost teasing this like this is going to be yet another indication of a John Cena heel turn. No, it's just going to be another indication of more typical WWE John Cena monster, John Cena problem bullshit. And even this fucking match here, you've got 3-on-1. If anything would scream to you, fucking Wyatt family either A, beats John Cena with Bray Wyatt pinning Cena, or B, if these guys don't care about wins or losses, in particular Bray Wyatt, he just wants to get into John Cena's head, then you don't even do the fucking match, and they just destroy John Cena for 10 or 15 fucking minutes. But no, the WWE went in the John Cena direction, which is John Cena gets beat down for a little bit. And then magically, somehow, he overcomes the odds of facing 3 men at the same time. He gets Bray Wyatt, hits an AA on him, is about to pin him. You get the clear point where you believe that he's going to get the 3 fall, and then there's interference, and then there's a fucking disqualification. And these assholes are having a match at Extreme Rules in a steel cage. Why? John Cena has already beat Bray Wyatt with interference at WrestleMania 30. The whole purpose of the steel cage match, you would think, is 2 reasons. 1, to keep the guys out, and 2, for the babyface to go over. Well, 1, the babyface has already fucking gone over, and 2, when he went over, there was interference and help for the heel already. And now you sit here, you can't even give the Wyatts this fucking victory here. You can't even give them this spotlight. You can't even give them this moment. You still gotta fucking stubbornly protect John Cena. What the fuck is wrong with this company? And what the fuck is wrong with John Cena? Seriously, how does this make for captivating storytelling in any way? Now you just sit there and said, hey, he already beat him at WrestleMania. He was going to beat him again in the 3-on-1 handicap match. Why the fuck should I care about him at Extreme Rules? Now Bray Wyatt's got to face him one-on-one. Shit, Bray Wyatt's the face and John Cena's the heel, and that's the fucking problem. No matter how much shit changes with the WWE, the more it stays the fucking same. Your heroes are your heels, and your fucking villains are your baby faces, meaning the good guys are the bad guys are the good guys. And I'm sick and tired of people in the wrestling business sitting there and trying to defend John Cena and say, well, you got to understand how much the kids love him and the women love him and da-da-da. Oh, bullshit. At some point in time, that no longer becomes a crutch or excuse for terrible storytelling involving the guy. This is yet another clear example of terrible storytelling involving the guy. How much longer can it just be about John Cena in this fucking company? He's been at the top as long as Hulk Hogan ever was in the WWE. You can argue even longer. The guy is 37. How much longer are you going to ride this gravy train that produces less and less gravy all the fucking time? And here's a guy in a Bray Wyatt, one of the hottest characters you have in your entire company right now, and you're doing everything you can to make him look like a chump. You're doing everything you can to clearly establish that John Cena is still the superior being. Oh my Christ. How can the WWE and the idiots in the wrestling business not clearly see that it is not good that John Cena elicits a split reaction? It's not good that John Cena can't unanimously get the crowd behind him because of bullshit like this. There are no obstacles. The freaking hero, John Cena, is the fucking obstacle. It is why John Cena is more heel and Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family are more babyface. How could anybody clearly not fucking understand this? How could anybody clearly not damn see this? You want to get behind the Wyatt family in this. Not only are they more captivating, not only are they more compelling and more interesting as characters, but you actually feel like you need to get emotionally invested with them. You actually feel at this point in time, if you really think about it, that Bray Wyatt has absolutely no shot in the fucking world at beating John Cena in his steel cage match at Extreme Rules. And frankly, if he did beat him in a steel cage match at Extreme Rules, you'd fart at it because you wouldn't fucking believe it. How the hell is the guy that couldn't beat him at WrestleMania 30 with how the hell is the guy who couldn't beat him here and almost got pinned here again in a 3-on-1 handicap match supposed to be believable beating this guy 1-on-1 in a steel cage match at Extreme Rules? When are you ever going to learn, WWE? It's not the thing of featuring John Cena. That's not the issue. It is the way that you feature John Cena. And instead of talking about it, people wanting to rebel and people being in Bizarro World and trying to be counterculture, no, maybe realize that you're creating the environment and you are creating the problem. But of course, the WWE will never change their perspective or opinion on this. They will just sit there and continue to go down the Cena yellow brick road and say everything is okie dokie. Well, I assure you, when it comes to this character and anything he's involved in, everything is not okie dokie. So no matter how much you think, shit ultimately changes, especially when it comes to John Cena and really with the WWE as a whole, the more it stays exactly the fucking same.